South Sudan on the brink of collapse, a stark warning from Dr. Joseph M. Besa. Nais, chairman of the National Party's Alliance, NPA, by Juba Global News Network. Juba Global Tom Juba, South Sudan, January 19, 2026, as South Sudan grapples with an unprecedented convergence of crises, economic implosion, widespread famine risk, surging intercommunal violence, and a stalled political transition, the country's youngest nation appears closer than ever to total state failure. Amid this darkening landscape, Dr. Joseph M. Naith, chairman of the National Party's Alliance, NPA, one of the prominent holdout opposition coalitions that has remained outside the main revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in South Sudan, RARSSS, framework, has issued a powerful public warning. In a lengthy Facebook post shared late last night from his official page, Dr. Kite Nais painted a grim picture of a nation in free fall and directly accused the transitional government of deliberate neglect, elite capture, and a refusal to implement genuine reforms. The post, which is rapidly circulated among South Sudanese diaspora communities, opposition supporters, and international observers, South Sudan on the brink of collapse, a stark warning from Dr. Joseph M. Juba Global Tom Juba, South Sudan, January 19, 2026, as South Sudan grapples with an unprecedented convergence of crises, economic implosion, widespread famine risk, surging intercommunal violence, state failure. Amid this darkening landscape, Dr. Joseph M. His organs. Conflict in South Sudan, RARSSS, framework, has issued a powerful public warning. In a lengthy Facebook post shared late last night from his official page, Dr. Kite Nais painted a grim picture of a nation in free fall and directly accused the transitional government of deliberate neglect, elite capture, and a refusal to implement genuine reforms. The post, which is rapidly circulated among South Sudanese diaspora communities, opposition supporters, and international observers, reads in full: Fellow citizens of South Sudan, brothers and sisters at home and in the diaspora, today I speak to you not as chairman of the National Party's Alliance, but as a son of this suffering land who can no longer remain silent while our country slides into the abyss. South Sudan stands on the brink of complete collapse. Our national currency is worthless. Black market rates have surpassed 500 SSP to the dollar. Teachers, doctors, soldiers, and police have not seen a salary in months. The state has ceased to function in most parts of the country. Oil revenues that should belong to all our people are siphoned off by a tiny elite while the rest starve. Famine is not a future threat. It is already here in pockets of Jonglei, Upper Nile, and Warrap. The IPC warns that 3 million of our brothers and sisters will face catastrophe phase 5 hunger in the coming months. Yet the government cuts food rations, blocks humanitarian access in some areas, and diverts resources to personal enrichment and patronage networks. Violence has returned with vengeance. Cattle raiding has become full-scale communal warfare. Unpaid soldiers and armed youth kill with impunity.
Lo umma biya tabaro bita wol unyarwe nina
angi ke wol kunyarwe
aten tuj
kuja tui
mindi malaga maum
kwa kina laga de tui
sen warti sin المشكله كله كبينه
انا 91 مشاكل قضيه aka toba aitin
لو سال ده زول في بور ما بزول مات
ati koy bor kakin koy to
لا انا وكن ما عندي بتشاكل الناس بور مشوا
oni we to rit ni ki we to pay ko koy ku ya kat koy bor
فانا جيت اقول لا لازم الكلام ده لازم يقف.
ina bagen bikini bida che be nyo bako ki koy we kat
والليلة أنا مبسوط وأنا بشكر ربنا
kwanji pio mi ade kul kwa le nyali
إنه الليلة أنا شفت الناس بتاع ورور لو
anji pio mi ade koy wuror koy ke lo wa
جروا من هناك لينا.
ay kat
السلام عليكم. أنا جينا عشان نيجي نستقبلكم. وده بنتكلم كده ما بنتكلم هنا. كلامنا ده كلام ونقول صغير أنا ما أدري. أنا بنونس قدام. شو ما شاف معلش. واو. انا جيت مع قاعد اوبريشن بتاعكم قاعد ماسك اوبريشن بتاع SPLM كله في المستوى بتاعكم الجنوب SSBC مدود يا ده انا جيت معه وانا ماشي قدام انا ماشي لا ابي ولا بعد بكره انا من لكم مالكم ماشيين فوقه سو بعد شويه ايوه ركب في الجوار بيه بتاعهم تعال ما تعرف قدامك انا فيلم قدام كمان امداس لا برسلم نادر رقم طوال سريع
ده تعليمات كلام ما في ندور من هنا اي سريه باري باربيه بتاعه واضح؟ اي سريه باري باربيه بتاعه واضح؟ ما دارين جلجله ما دارين ململه لما كلام من هنا سواء انت
طبعا في برنامج دارم لكن في دارم كمان ده اخونا مدود من ماسك البلاد بس بالقوم من ولا ده جاب من أربعة تعشيرات الدبوة دي متذكرة
The so-called unified forces remain a fiction. Cantonment sites are death traps where young men are abandoned without food or hope. The RARSS is dead in all but name. The February 2026 deadline will pass without elections because those in power have no intention of ever relinquishing it. We in the National Parties Alliance have warned repeatedly. Without security sector reform, without inclusive national dialogue, without transitional justice, and without a genuine power-sharing arrangement that includes all South Sudanese, not just the same old faces, there will be no peace, no stability, and no future. The international community must stop enabling this slow-motion suicide, conditionalize aid, enforce targeted sanctions on those blocking reform, support genuine South Sudanese voices, not just the ones who sign agreements in foreign capitals, and then ignore them. To our people, do not lose hope, but do not accept this suffering as normal. The time for silence is over. The time for real change, real, inclusive, and accountable change is now. South Sudan is bleeding. If we do not act together, there will be nothing left to save. Dr. Joseph M. Nayeth, Chairman, National Parties Alliance, NPA, 118 January 2026. Dr. Nayeth's statement arrives at a moment of acute fragility. The RASS transitional period, extended multiple times, expires next month with no viable election roadmap. The government of President Salva Kiir and First Vice President Riek Machar remains a fragile coalition of convenience, accused by holdout groups like the NPA of failing to implement core provisions, unification of forces, constitutional reform, transitional justice, and preparation for free and fair elections. The NPA, an umbrella coalition of opposition parties and movements that rejected full participation in the RRSS framework, has long called for broader inclusion and genuine power sharing. Dr. Nayeth, a vocal critic of both the government in Bob and Jegov people in Fischenstesold, what is going to be really process comment causert in Jegov Tabor. And the SPLM-IO has positioned the alliance as a voice for marginalized political actors and communities excluded from Juba's elite bargains. Independent analysts and humanitarian leaders have echoed many of Dr. Nayeth's concerns. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, IPC, projects that acute food insecurity will reach catastrophic levels for millions in early 2026. The World Food Program has cut rations due to chronic underfunding. Violence in Jonglei, Unity, and Upper Nile states has displaced tens of thousands in recent months alone. The UN's peacekeeping mission continues to protect civilians in displacement sites, but its mandate cannot substitute for a functioning state. The international community faces difficult choices. Donor fatigue has set in after years of massive humanitarian spending with little progress toward stability. Calls are growing for more conditional aid, targeted sanctions on spoilers, and renewed pressure on the government to implement reforms before the transitional period collapses entirely. Dr. Nayeth's post has already generated hundreds of shares, comments, and reactions within South Sudan's active online communities. Supporters praise his courage in speaking truth to power. Critics accuse him of grandstanding or undermining fragile stability. Yet few dispute the underlying reality he describes. South Sudan is not merely in crisis. It is on the edge of becoming a failed state in every meaningful sense. Whether his call galvanizes domestic and international action or simply adds another voice to the chorus of warnings remains to be seen. What is clear is that time is running out. Juba Global News Network will continue to cover this rapidly deteriorating situation, including responses to Dr. Kased Bok and Body to be Kased Nayeth's statement, humanitarian updates, and any developments in the political transition. This article was updated on January 19, 2026 at 2:05 p.m. STRT0 to include the full text of Dr. Project Joseph M. Nayeth's Facebook post and immediate reactions.
Government guarantees economic stability efforts ahead of December elections. South Sudan and passport booklet supplier harmonize relations to ensure reliable issuance. And SSBC Radio Gumbo transmitter is set for reactivation to boost grassroots access to information. Hello and welcome to SSBC 8 p.m. News, coming to life in the national capital, Juba, with me, Abraham McCann. We thank you all for joining us. We begin our news for tonight with Republican decrees. Government appointments, relief from duty and promotion. The President of the Republic has this day made changes in government personnel, effective immediately. Relief from duties. The following officials are hereby relieved of their duties. 1. Honorable Dagbo Bichok is hereby relieved of his duties as the Minister of Public Service and Human Resources Development. 2. Honorable Angelina Teny is hereby relieved of her duties as the Minister of Interior. 3. Honorable James Othmai is hereby relieved of his duties as the Minister of Labour. 4. Honorable Nadia Robdudi is hereby relieved of her duties as the Minister of Culture, Museum and National Heritage. 5. Honorable Rin Twegmabor is hereby relieved of his duties as the Governor of Lake State. 6. Honorable Dengjo Angok is hereby relieved of his duties as the Deputy Governor of Upper Nile State Government. And 7. Honorable Toy Changret is hereby relieved of his duties as the Director General of General Intelligence Bureau, National Security Service. Promotion. The following officer is hereby promoted to the rank of indicated against his name. Major General Abraham Kadbichok is hereby promoted from the rank of Major General to the rank of General in the National Security Service, NSS. Appointments. The following officials are hereby appointed to their respective positions. 1. Honorable Ezekiel Lulgat-Kwot is hereby appointed as the Minister of Public Service and Human Resources Development. 2. Honorable Aleu Ayieny Aleu is hereby appointed as the Minister of Interior. 3. Honorable Anthony Lino Makana is hereby appointed as the Minister of Labour. 4. Honorable Sarah Nyat Elijah Young is hereby appointed as the Minister of Culture, Museums and National Heritage. 5. Honorable Madang Majokman is hereby appointed as the Governor of Lake State. 6. Honorable Deng Akwekak is hereby appointed as the Deputy Governor of Upper Nile State Government. And 7. General Abraham Kadbichok is hereby appointed as the Director General of General Intelligence Bureau, GIB, National Security Service, NSS. The President of the Republic extends his gratitude to the outgoing officials for their dedicated service to the nation and conveys best wishes to the newly appointed officials as they assumed their responsibilities. Dated the 19th January 2026, signed Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. President Salva Kiir Mayardit and his deputy, Dr. James Waniga, have engaged in discussion focusing on national development and efforts to addressing the country's political and economic situation ahead of the December elections. During the meeting, Vice President Dr. James Waniga briefed the President on the just concluded Mundari Cultural Festival, describing it as a significant platform for promoting unity and peaceful coexistence as diverse communities showcased their rich traditions and shared values. In his capacity as first deputy chairman of the SPLM, Dr. James Waniga also updated the President on internal party affairs, including organization matters and ongoing preparations aimed at strengthening the party's role in the national political process. The two leaders reaffirmed their shared commitment to peace, economic recovery, and addressing the pressing challenges currently facing the nation.
We had an excellent meeting discussing a number of issues, really. I started with briefing him on the issue of Terkeke, where there was a very big population there actually ready to, they talk to the people ready to be mobilized for elections and so on. I conveyed to them his greetings. We also discussed with him, with His Excellency, the issues of the economy, which I'm heading, and he advised me on the way forward, and I also gave my ideas. Then we talk about SPLM, the issue of the elections, and so on.
The government continues to reassure its efforts to bolster protection of migrant workers within South Sudan in alignment with regional standards. This follows a meeting between the Vice President for Service Cluster, Josephine Joseph Lagu, and former Minister of Labour, James Hosmai, which focused on preparations for the upcoming bilateral Better Regional Migrant Management Conference in Juba. The conference will bring together ministers of labour from across the Horn of Africa and East Africa, aiming to strengthen regional cooperation on labour mobility and the protection of migrant workers.
I came this afternoon to brief my president on the upcoming conference.
The newly appointed Minister of Energy and Dams, Agok Makur sketched plans and practical solutions to the challenges that would arise as he briefs the Vice President for Infrastructure Cluster, Tabandengai. According to Minister Agok Makur, his plans entails reviving the power station Rumbek, Lake State. Vice President Tabandengai encourages the minister to focus on devising stronger frameworks for bolstering the infrastructural programs.
We need to endorse the new structure, and also we brief him about the prioritized strategic of this ministry, and we need to expand the electricity in the city of Juba, and also we are prepare ourselves to open the power station of Rumbek maybe coming month, and also we talk to him about the challenges facing us as a Ministry of Energy. In their side, the Vice President direct us to quick completely the framework, legal framework, and also to endorse the structure or to present it.
The Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Nuna Roda, while seeking direction from the Vice President for Gender, Youth and Humanitarian Cluster, Rebecca Nyandeng Dumobior, has stressed dedication to collaborations aimed at achieving the ministry's mandate. Vice President Nyandeng encourages the minister to prioritize teamwork in achieving her role effectively.
I've come to meet Her Excellency the VP. Has a first meeting with her, and has the Ministry of Gender is under her cluster. I've come to meet her for the culturally relationship, working relationship with her, and has a mentor to take some directives from her and to support me in the work that I'm going to start. I'm very glad to be here with her.
The government, through the Senior Presidential Envoy for Special Programs, Adut Salva Kiir, has harmonized relations with the German-based passport booklet supplier following a pledge to pay $9.5 million debt, leading to the supply of 10,000 passport booklets along with nationality materials to the Directorate, ensuring the resumption of durable passport and nationality issuance. The Senior Presidential Envoy confirmed this development during a visit to the Directorate of Civil Registry, Nationality, Passport and Immigration, where She inspected the resumption of nationality and passport processing. The directorate is among the government institutions severely affected by the ongoing economic crisis, which previously resulted in a shortage of passport booklets and a complete halt in passport and nationality issuance, leaving many citizens unable to obtain essential identification and travel documents.
The issuance of passport resumes and never stops. So I'm here to guarantee that this is a service that will continue. And the reason I'm here today, I believe, is because I couldn't come empty-handed. I could have visited before, but I would have come and made a promise that maybe I would not have fulfilled. So having shown you that one of the things that we had to do was to make sure that the passports had to resume the service delivery to our citizens, this is why I'm here today. And I would like to give a special commendation to our Honorable CG for acting swiftly. We were able to find a partnership with a company that will ensure our debts will be cleared, and through the arrangement with the digitalization of passport issuance.
أنا حاجة أنا بقول للوحدة بتاع البوليس أو الوحدة بتاع المigration and passports في أجيال كتير ظاهر وشعب ده أسمع. أنا بقوله mismanagement ولا corruption أجيال ده ظاهر مواطنين بكلم إنه you are being delayed عشان يودوا له حاجة بتأخروا بزمن عشان إنه يلقى حاجة تاني كارجل القروش على حكومة ديره. كلام ده يقولنا سري أو ديجيتال. فأنا بطلب من الناس الجاكالين to respect أو نحترم القوانين اللي ماشيين فوق أسدا.
So the issue of passport and nationality is very, very, very important and urgent. So we put attention on that through the directive from His Excellency the President and our special input on special programs. We say now what can we do, because we know very well that the country is in crisis, economic crisis. And this economic crisis, there are some other things that are important but they need to be addressed. On Borondut money, to facilitate this process, she has convened one of the national companies that have capacity to help us pay their arrears. And now as a result, we have received the passport. I hope our DG should have mentioned the number of the passport that we have received. 10,000 passports that we have received. I hope we will continue receiving.
We now go for a break and we will be back with more stories. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. In a major move to bridge national communication gaps, the government is set to operationalize the SSBC Radio Gumbo transmitter facility in the coming weeks to boost grassroots access to information as the nation heads to polls in December this year. The facility was temporarily closed due to the alleged radiation-related safety concerns. This development follows an inspection visit by the Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Postal Services, Jonglei State, to the facility. We have the report.
against the backdrop of limited grassroots access to information as the country prepares for the upcoming December post-independence elections. The government, through the Ministry of Information, has stepped up efforts. The facility operates a powerful antenna capable of covering the entire country, a capacity expected to significantly enhance access to information, particularly at the grassroots level. Minister of Information, Communication and Postal Services, Ayieny Aleu, alongside Information Undersecretary Mayuen Belbeg, SSBC Managing Director John Madol inspected the facility, briefed by engineers on its safety status and operational readiness. Minister Teny confirmed that final technical and administrative preparations are underway, stressing the importance of reopening the station to restore an essential public broadcasting service and strengthen national information dissemination.
This radio is a good facility for South Sudan, but it was abandoned that last time against the backdrop of misinformation that the radiation was too high and could affect those who are actually working there. But the engineers has defeated this, and they said it's a misinformation. The engineer assured us that the radiation in it is even less than 1.1%. This radio is the only facility that we have in South Sudan that can cover the whole of South Sudan, particularly in response to the access to information.
Despite previous unsuccessful attempts to operationalize the facility, the minister emphasized optimism that the station will reopen within the next few days, emphasizing that the move will help link local communities with national projects, fostering better understanding and participation.
So we are now coming to put the finishing touches on how to open this facility, and as soon as possible, the radio SSBC that covered the whole of South Sudan will be open in the next few weeks, if not days. We are going to work as ministry to ensure we open this so that we provide access to information to our people.
The reopening is expected to play a vital role in promoting public awareness, national unity, timely access to government information across the country. Reporting for SSBC News, Ayieny Aleu, Juba.
In a related development, Information Minister Jonglei State stresses dedication to collaboration with Hearts Foundation to enhance humanitarian services nationwide. Minister Jonglei State made the commitment in a meeting with the Executive Director of the Hearts Foundation, Deng Arop Mayuen, who briefed him on the foundation's activities.
We from the Hearts Foundation, we came to visit him to share our work of our founder, the chairperson, Salva Kiir Mayardit, as well a senior envoy on presidential program. Today, me and my colleagues, James Tuchmadir, came to visit Honorable for us to find a way to work closely. He assured us to support us through the government chain. We are happy with the visit. We look forward to working closely with him. He's a man of action.
The Minister of Presidential Affairs, Africano Mande, and the British Ambassador to South Sudan, David Ashley, have discussed the humanitarian situation in the country, including the impact of the ongoing conflict in the neighboring Sudan. The discussion also focused on the upcoming meeting of the Public Financial Management Committee, which is expected to prioritize funding for health and education, two key basic services. Ambassador Ashley says the UK, together with other development partners, has expressed readiness to support government efforts aimed at improving service delivery in these sectors.
We had a very useful discussion touching on three main areas. The first obviously is peace, which is our priority in South Sudan. We expressed our concerns about the situation in northern Jonglei and our sympathy for the people who have been displaced and affected by the continued violence there, and we continue to call on all sides to engage in a ceasefire and inclusive dialogue to resolve the problems. Secondly, we discussed the situation of public financial management to ensure that health, education and other key basic services are increasingly financed by the government of South Sudan, to which the UK and other partners can contribute. Thirdly, we talked about the situation in Sudan, the horrific conflict there, and I think the UK and South Sudan share a strongly held wish to see peace prevail in Sudan, and it is important for regional stability that the war in Sudan ends as quickly as possible, and we will continue to be working with South Sudan and other partners.
The Ministers of Trade and the East African Community Affairs have engaged in extensive discussions aimed at harmonizing challenges facing traders in the region. Both Trade Minister Tongkwal Manyangjuk and the Minister of East African Community Affairs Piang Denkwal reaffirmed their commitment to collaborative efforts.
This morning, the Ministry of East African Community Affairs came to the Ministry of Trade, the mother ministry from which the Ministry of East African Community was born. So we came to discuss issues of mutual interest to both of us, and we came to strengthen the collaboration that we need to pursue and ensure that the Republic of South Sudan benefits to the best from the East African community. So this meeting today, I can say it has been very fruitful. We'll continue to collaborate and work together and make sure that joining the East African community was not a mistake. The Republic of South Sudan and the people of South Sudan stand to benefit from trade, from all other things that the East African community is offering, and will ensure that our people, the people of South Sudan, also benefit. Not that the other way around, but we will ensure that we benefit to the best from the East African community. So we appreciate the Minister of Trade, and we'll continue to work together for the good of all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, this morning, the Minister of East African Affairs, accompanied by Honorable Undersecretary and technical person, they came to our Ministry of Trade and Industry to meet with Honorable Minister Atau Kuala Lumpur, which were also accompanied by the Undersecretary and the technical personnel in the Ministry. The meeting went on well. It was a very good meeting. We discussed issues of cooperation between the two ministries that regard into the issue of database, how it will be improved, the issue.
Now, the newly appointed Undersecretary in the Ministry of General Education and Instruction has assumed his role amid renewed commitment to improved services. SSBC's Idris Stephen reports.
As a tradition to welcome a newcomer in any institution, the staff of the Ministry of General Education and Instruction welcomed the newly appointed Undersecretary, Honorable Omoto Konyi Olo, into his office on Monday, in an occasion graced with a colorful traditional dance from the Anyak community who came to support their son. Addressing the gathering, the Minister of General Education and Instruction, Riek Kuyok, encouraged the new Undersecretary to cooperate and work for the betterment of the ministry. He lauded Omoto's long-term experience as an expert in the education sector.
I want to appreciate His Excellency the President for appointing him to this particular task at this particular time. This task is huge. It is huge, but he is lucky. He is lucky because This is his terrain. Your work is basically facilitation. Facilitate the DGs to perform. Facilitate everybody in supervision. Once you see somebody is performing very well, you need to appreciate them. If they are not performing well, you need to advise them and you need to give them support.
And the outgoing Undersecretary Kachwalma Bill Pyok encouraged the staff of the ministry to respect and cooperate with the new Undersecretary to ensure success in his tenure of office.
I want to appreciate the staff of the ministry. For the 10 months I've been here, I have gotten immense respect from all the colleagues. This is, and I would like you to extend the same respect to Honorable Undersecretary Omot, because without respect, you will not work as a team.
On his part, the new Undersecretary Omot Olok affirmed his commitment to embrace everyone in the ministry and work to improve quality education in the country.
I would want to express my gratitude to the President of the Republic of South Sudan, His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, for his trust in me and for appointing me as the Undersecretary of the Ministry of General Education. So we need to coordinate together, we need to communicate together, and we need to cooperate together. And we need to do our things professionally.
Meanwhile, the coordinator for National Education Coalition, Dr. Riek, encouraged the new Undersecretary to uphold good coordination between national and state levels of education to ensure better education services delivery across the country.
You have your staff, you know them. Work hard to try to put the welfare in the center of your work, because until you have them happy, until you have them go home in good time, they will not support your work. So continue to improve the coordination from the national to the state to the counties to the school. And that way you are aware of the current funding dynamics is becoming very fluid, and there are a lot of things that you need to do at the Undersecretary, at the ministry, that need to improve our image out there.
The newly appointed Undersecretary, Omot Olok, is hailed a man in the right place, as he has been in the system since the time of liberation to date, who understands the nature of education challenges in this nation. Edwin Stephen, SSBC News, Juba.
Secretary in the Ministry of Wildlife, Conservation and Tourism, Peter Loro Alberto, engages in extensive discussion with leadership of Juba City Council led by Christopher Sarafino Wani regarding issues of tax collection and hotel classification and registrations of hotels under Tourism Act 2024.
There is no link between the ministry and the Juba City Council. If this cooperation were to be there, I'm sure this mess will not be there. You know, our issue is the closure of the hotels. That's why I was saying, why can we develop a mechanism so that both of us always go to the right track.
What your people are doing in the hotel industry, what they are doing is scaring our investors. If we continue threaten our investors, the image of South Sudan will be spoiled. There will be no investment in tourism and hospitality. All these years, we are not collecting revenue from hotel industry, and your people are the one collecting.
As far as the hotels are concerned, the responsibility of Juba City Council is a territorial jurisdiction responsibility. The fees and the levies, the so-called taxes that Juba City Council is collecting.
Unity State authorities and a Canadian delegation have discussed the ongoing humanitarian challenges and the implementation of Canada-funded projects in the state. The meeting focused on how Canadian government-supported programs are operating in South Sudan, particularly in Bentiu, with emphasis on humanitarian assistance, peace building, and support to vulnerable communities. The Canadian team reaffirmed their government's commitment to continue funding humanitarian and peace initiatives until lasting stability is achieved in the country. The governor of Unity State welcomed Canada's continued support, describing it as vital to ongoing efforts to stabilize Unity State and improve the lives of its citizens. The United Nations Mission Field Office in Awil Town, Northern Barkazal State, has handed over its office campus with 21 vehicles, 3 fire distinguishing vehicles, 2 ambulances, and 1 sewage trucks on Monday. Governor Charles Madut Akol appreciates the role of the United Nations Mission in South Sudan and their tremendous service to the people of Northern Barkazal State. He added that the vehicle will facilitate the government activities in the state.
On behalf of the state's governments and the people of Northern Barkazal, I wish to express our sincere appreciations and gratitude to UNIMIS for invaluable support and contributions you have made it in our states over years. Your presence has played a significant role in promoting peace.
With all this said, I'm so happy today to hand over to your government the mentioned equipment to you, and with these few remarks, sir, kindly accept the deliverance and the gifting to you.
Turning to social news, the Olubo community of Chodoni, Jokoki, Buma in Lokweleli Payam has joined other communities across the country in showcasing their rich cultural heritage and values to promote peace and social cohesion. Speaking during the event, the executive chief of Jokoki, Sivit Ladu, stresses his community's dedication to peace and unity for shared future. Magesi Modi Tombe, an elder of Lokweleli Payam, uses the occasion to appeal to the national government to improve road infrastructure and boost grassroots mobility.
علينا يوم ده يوم عظيم أو ده يوم تاريخي بالنسبة لأبناء جوكوكي. عشان كده كمان هنا قلنا لازم نحن كلام ما نجيب ورا ألعاب تانيين تانا ثقافات براو كده نمسك بالثقافات بتاعنا تا جنوب السودان أو تا قبيلة أو لبو. إلى دار السلام ده عشان كده عايز يكون فري. هذا أنا مكسوتي من يوم 5 على عدي يوم 17 في ميرو يوم 20 هنا في كورجي يوم 25 هنا في كلمو بعد كجوا يا بغفلو ده تبي بتاع لوكيلي بايام دول بوامر لا نفارو لا نور كل برنامج ده بمشي كده
وانا بودي رساله بتاع الحكومه اننا ناس بتاع سلام دائما كل ما سنه اننا ما دارين اجل ما بساعدوا اجل كده ساعدوا اننا دارين في بلد
كان في زياره يا اخوانا بودا ايه وزيدوا لنا في السنه الجديد وزيدوا لنا في محل امبارح كده محل رابع محل اسا كان فتره ده في فرتك بمشاكلات لكن حاسس قدرنا حاسس كده ربنا زيدوا فتره لنا كده حكومه ثاني جاء فتره لنا محل يا اخوانا عشان بكره بفتره بتاع.
And that's all what we have for you this hour. From me, Abraham McKenna, and the whole team here, we thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.